Alright, guys, welcome to the session, and I hope all of you guys are doing good. So let's get started with today's session. So here is the question which we have to solve. ViewStream, a content platform, wants to measure true post engagement by analyzing how much time user actually spend viewing posts. The goal here is to using the percentage view column from the post view table, calculate the total viewing time in seconds for each post across all users. Only include post with more than 5 seconds of total viewing time. Output should include post ID and total viewing time. This helps ViewStream identify high engagement content for better promotion and content strategy. So let's write this query. So first of all, let's see the tables which we have. So select star from user underscore sessions. So here you can see that we have the platform, we have the session end and start time, we have the user ID, and we have the session ID as well. The second table is post views. And there you can see that we have the post ID, session ID, and percentage view. The common column which we have is what? Session ID, on which I can do a join. So step one will be, I will calculate session duration in seconds. So let's give the areas with session durations as select session ID, timestamp difference. I want the outcome in the second. Session start time and session end time as session duration from user sessions. So here you can see that you are getting the session ID and their corresponding duration. If you go to user session, here you can see we have the session ID, right? And we have various different sessions. For example, here you can see start time is 12:14:28 and end time is 12:16:08. So roughly how much? 2 minutes 20 seconds less, that is 100 seconds, right? So for session number 1, it should be 100 seconds, and you can see that 100 seconds is coming in. So I got this duration for every session, right? If I go back to the problem, using the percentage view column from the post view table, calculate the total viewing time in seconds for each post across all users, include post for more than 5 seconds, and so on. So as of now, we are just calculating session and its duration. Now I'll join this particular data which we got. Join with post views table and calculate viewing time per post, right? So select Now what I have to do is I have this post view table on which I want to join. The common column is, as we know, it's a session ID. And if you go to the post table, you can see here we have the post ID as well. So what I want is I want the post ID. I have this percentage viewed and I'll multiply that with the session duration. Right. So let's do that. So select post ID. I will join the percentage viewed divided by 100. Let's put it in bracket. Multiply by session duration. That is coming from the another table. And let me round it off as my post view seconds. From post views, inner join session durations, right? That is the alias which we have created, the above CTE on pv dot session ID is equal to sd dot session ID. Select star from viewing times. Post view second is coming out to be 2, 4, 1, and so on. Now, how it is happening, let's see that. My session duration, let's say I am going with post ID, right? So let's do one thing. Let's get this table first. This is the data which I got from above CTE. This is my session ID and this is my duration, seconds. This is my CTE which we have created, session durations. And we have the post views on which I am joining. So this is my another table. This is my session ID, post ID, and your percentage. Now, what are we doing is we are joining this table on session ID, the common column. For example, let's say these 3 records will join with this record. We are applying the inner join, so obviously these 3 records will join with this. So what will happen? And what are we doing is in the calculation, percentage view by 100 into session duration. Percentage view by 100, 2%, right? It's a 2%. So that means percentage is how much? 0.02. Right? This divided by 100. 0.02. Same with this guy will become this divided by 100. And same with this guy will become this divided by 100. Now, this multiply by this multiply by this, and this multiply by this. Right? That means how much? 2, 4, and 1. 7, right? Total 7. So this will become this multiply by this multiply by this, and this multiply by this. So we have the post ID. We are getting the post ID. So post ID number 1, post ID number 2, post ID number 3. Same way we have another post ID also, right? And here we are basically for every post you will get the numbers. So let me remove this guy and let's run this. So here you can see, right? Post number 1. 2 is there. You can see 2 is there. Another post number 1. This is also 2, right? Because this is my session number 2, 10 is there. Perfect. That is looking fine. Because see, this is 20%. So this divided by 100. That is 0.2. 0.2 will get multiplied by session ID number 2. So 2 is coming in. Right. So we will have 2 entries for 1. One with 2, second with 2 as well. Same way we have multiple entries for 2s, right? So multiple entries for 2. This entry, 3, 4, 5, 6 entries are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 entries are there. Same way for 4, 2 entries, and for 3, some entries coming in. So basically what I did, I found out the duration of the session. And then I joined on this and finding the post ID and the corresponding percentage duration. 2% of this thing duration. That is 2 seconds. So for every post ID, there is a percentage which I have, and I just have to calculate that. Let's go back to the problem again. So using the percentage view column for the post view table, calculate the total viewing time in seconds for each post across all users. So that is what we have calculated. Total viewing time in seconds for each post across all users. Only include posts that I will do later on. Right. So for each post, I got the duration using the percentage view column. That is what they are asking for. Using the percentage view column, post the post view from the post view table, calculate the total viewing time in seconds for each post across all users. And again, users are present here in your user sessions. For their sessions, I am calculating the percentages. So that is the second part which we did. Now we'll expand further. Now in this particular thing, I will aggregate. For every post, what is the total view seconds? I will sum it up and then I will filter on the total view time greater than 5 seconds. Right. So I'll sum up. So I'll say aggregate, or I can say total viewing per post as. So I'll select post ID, comma, sum of this guy, right? Total seconds which he had. That is your total viewing time from viewing time table, the alias which we have created. Group by post ID. Now when I say select star from this guy, here you can see that you are getting the total post. 2 plus 2 was 4, right? For my post number 1. Same way for post number 2, what is the time? Post number 3 and post number 4. So I got the each post total viewing time for all the users. Now, once that is done, I will finally filter on those posts which are basically greater than 5 seconds. That means except post number 1, rest of the post will be coming in. So select post ID, comma, total viewing time from total this above table. Where total viewing time is more than 5. Right? More than 5. So 3 also did not come because 3 had exactly 5. Right? So I'm saying more than 5, so 3 will be going off. So this will be the answer. These are the posts which are like basically above 5 seconds of time. Let's quickly read the question again. Using the percentage view columns for post view table, calculate the total viewing time in seconds for each post across all users. For each post across all users, that we did. Only include post with more than 5 seconds. Output should only include post ID and total viewing time. So exactly the same thing we did here. Right. So we had the session, we aggregated the session, we got the session duration. After that, we joined the post table. For post ID, we got the percentage duration. After that, we aggregated the percentage duration post view seconds for every post. And then I'm looking for only those posts which are greater than 5 seconds. Are you guys clear with this, all of you? What we did here? Okay. So let's take one more example. This example will be on the same lines the way we did the streak example is on the same lines. So let's see what we have. Trips in consecutive months. Zoom Drive, a ride-hailing platform, wants to identify consistent driver activity for analyzing monthly trip patterns. Find the driver IDs of drivers who completed at least one trip per month for 2 or more consecutive months. Group data by driver and month. Identify sequence of back-to-back months with the trip activity. The driver qualifies only if they had at least one trip in 2 or more continuous months. For example, January, February, or March, April, May. This insight will help Zoom Drive track reliable drivers, target them for incentives, rewards, or retention programs. Right. So let's see what we have in our data set. So here you can see we have trip ID, trip date, fare, driver ID, and whether the trip is completed or not. I will be focusing on only those trips which are completed, right? Only completed trips are important for me. Incompleted trips again is a negative side, so I will be not focusing on that, right? So now let's break it down. My step one would be I will extract year and month from trip date because I want to use that for grouping purpose, for grouping. So that is my first step which I have to perform. So I'll say select driver ID because my interest is on driver ID. So driver ID, or let me apply the CT here. So with monthly activity as select driver ID, date format, trip date. I'll fetch out my year and month as my trip month. From trips, where is completed is equal to 1 because I am interested in the this thing, right? Completed trips. Group by driver ID and month, trip month. Select star from monthly activity. So here you can see that you are getting for every driver the month and year coming in. Now, for example, this guy, right? This is consecutive. He was there in the month of July, August, and September. All the 3 months he is there. So I got this particular data. Now, what second thing I will do is I will assign a row number. Step 2, assign a row number to each month per driver, right? The way we did for the last query, for the player winning streak, almost on the same lines, we are solving the problem. Ranked months as select driver, trip month, row number over partition by driver ID, order by trip month. By default, it is ascending order, so that is fine as row number from monthly activity. Now, if I get out, select star from ranked months. So here you can see that you are getting the ranking for all the individual drivers, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that, right? So for every driver, you are applying the rank, the row number basically. Now, again, the same thing, I will use the, what do you say? I will, like the way we wrote the query in the last class, we have to use the date subtraction and then I will subtract with the row number, all those things we have to do. So let's do that. So my step 3 would be create a gap group by subtracting row number from trip month. So grouped streaks as select driver ID, trip month, RN, that is row number, date sub. I will convert this to str to date. Concat, I'll explain this query. Concat trip month, comma 01. Percentage Y, percentage M, percentage D, interval RN month as group from ranked months. Select star from grouped streaks. So basically, we this thing is what we are doing. We are subtracting, right? We are subtracting. Now, what I did here is that I am trying to create a date in a month, year, day format. So I am concatenating the trip month, which is this column, with -01. That is the first of that month, and converting that to a string to date, right? I'm converting string to date, and then I'm subtracting it. So basically, this part is a string. I'm converting that to a date in this format, and then I'm subtracting with the row number. For example, here the row number is 1. So my date was what? 1 month prior, because we are taking the month, right? So it was 1st of July 2021. So 1 month prior is your this thing, June. Now here your rank is 2, row number is 2. So month is 8, 2 minus is 6. And same way 9, the rank is 3, so it will be 6 again. So here you can see the dates are exactly same. The group dates are exactly same. And we have the 3 consecutive uh, trips we had from that driver. So it's a consecutive. That means he is consecutively working on every month basis. So this is like one of the drivers which I will be interested in. Same way for other records also, it's happening the same. It's happening for every driver ID. Exactly this type of concept we have written in the last session. Now I'll get the count, my step 4. So I want to count, I'll apply the group by as we have to apply the count. So select, let me add the streak counts as select driver ID, count star as my streak length from grouped streaks. Group by driver ID and GRP. And now when I run this, select star from streak count. You can see here for driver 1, I got the streak. If I am not applying this group and if I am directly going with this, you can see here 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3. And if I am adding the GRP as well, you can see there are some extra records coming in because I am getting this, right? This is one streak only. So when I am removing this group, it is summing up this two and making it 2, 2. Right? I wanted what? I wanted for every consecutive month. And for consecutive month, what will happen? Your group is becoming same date, right? If you remember in this particular query, so in this particular query, you can see that here I have the same date. So I will group by on this plus user. That is making sense. Because when group by on these two columns will happen, it will sum up this. But if you see here, if I am only grouping by these two, this driver ID only, these two rows will sum up. But here you can see the dates are different. Both are different trips, right? Here there is a gap of 1 month. This is like 6, 1 month prior is 5. Here it is 8, 1 month prior is 2 month prior is 6. It's not a consecutive trip. From June, the next trip was on August. There was no trip on July. So because of that, this date changed. But here it was a consecutive, and because of that, the group date is exactly the same. Because you are subtracting 1 month from this, which is 6. Here from 8, subtracting 2 months, which is again 6. And 9, subtracting 3 months, again 6. So that is the reason I have to apply the group by on these two columns to get the count. And that count will be the number of streaks. Wherever the count is more than 1, that means he has at least 2 or more than 2 consecutive month trips are there. So that is the reason I had to add that part in the group by GRP also I have added. So now here you can see that one user having 3 consecutive trip. These two guys are not having consecutive trip. This is not consecutive, not consecutive. Only this is consecutive as well. And this is not consecutive. My streak length, which I am interested in, is more than equal to 2 as per the requirement. So now I will finalize my query. The qualified drivers, right? If you want, I can directly apply the streak length is equal to 2. So here I can say select star from, or I can say select distinct driver ID from streak counts where streak length is more than equal to 2. Right? So these are the users or these are the drivers having the streak of more than equal to 2. Driver number 1 has having the streak length of 3 and driver number 4 is having the streak length of 2 and both are more than equal to 2. Okay. So this was pretty much on the same lines which we had in the last session which we discussed. Are you guys clear with this, all of you? If you want to do performance optimization of both of these queries, you write so we can write explain before query and see the query performance. There is another way also, and then write explain done query how can I compare each query. You have to go and you have to run this query. Click on this explain plan. This is the total cost 2.72. And same way if you are running any other query, again run the explain plan, check the cost here, query cost. Whichever query cost is having a lesser amount, that is the best query. Also, if both the queries are bad query, in that case, you can just check it out. What is the problem? For example, here you can see that we are doing the full table scan. So we can check which column is used extensively. We can go and we can create the index on top of that column, which column is basically used heavily in this particular table. For example, driver ID we are using quite extensively. So we can use driver ID as the index, or I can create a driver ID as a primary key if there are no duplicates. And then we can fine tune the query. Here is the explain. All right, so let's go to the next one. From Microsoft to Google, LinkedIn cites a professional networking analytics platform or firm wants to analyze career transition between major tech companies to understand talent flow. Among all users who worked at Microsoft at any point, count how many had Google as their very next employer, with no companies in between. So basically what they are saying is that among all users who worked in Microsoft at any point, count how many had Google as their next employer, with no companies in between. Right. That means let's say some employee is working in Microsoft. He left Microsoft. Now I'm looking for like that guy is now shifted to Google. Right. There is no gap in between, or there is no companies in between Microsoft and Google. So among all the users who worked as at Microsoft at any point, count how many had Google as their next employer with no companies in between. Right. So after Microsoft, it should be Google only. Consider following only consider users who worked at Microsoft. Identify users who immediate next job after Microsoft was at Google. Ignore users who had other jobs in between before joining Google. That means between Microsoft and Google, there should not be any company. This insight will help linked insights understand competitive talent movement, right? So that is the query which we have to write. Let's first get the data. Okay. For example, if you see the first user, he left Microsoft on 1st of November, and again he joined on 1st of November Google, right? So that means this guy is consecutive. Second guy is from Google, he is going to Microsoft. It is not what I'm looking for. Third guy is from Microsoft, he went to Amazon, then he went to Google. So this guy is also of not my interest. Google, then he again joined Google, right? From junior developer to senior developer. So that is again what we are not interested in. And the last one is user ID 5. He is in Microsoft. His current job is also Microsoft. And the user 6 is Google. His current job is also Google. So only user which I am interested in is user number 1. And that's it, right? That's it. User number 1, and that's it. The rest all are not satisfying our criteria. So let's write the query for this. First of all, what we'll do is we'll apply the rank in, or I can say row number, whatever you want to pass, that's okay. Let's apply the row number. Step 1, row number for each job by user based on start date, right? For every user, I have to apply the row number so that I'll get the sequence of the job. If it is Microsoft, then it will be first, then Google, it will be second, like that. So for every, like for example, user number 1, this guy will get 1, this guy will get 2. User number 2, this guy will get 1, this guy will get 2. User number 3, this guy will get 1, this guy will get 2, this guy will get 3. User number 4, again 1 and 2. User number 5 is 1. User number 6 is 1. Right. So every record for per user, I will apply the row number. So with ranked jobs as select user ID, employer, start date and date, row number over partition by user ID, order by start date as my job rank from LinkedIn users. Select star from ranked jobs, right? So here you can see that this is looking fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1. That is the expectation, and that is what we are getting here. Now, what is the next? The next is that I am looking for those employees who are working in Microsoft, right? So I will add another condition, step number 2. Get the Microsoft job entries. Let's give this as Microsoft jobs. Select user ID, comma, job rank as Microsoft rank from ranked jobs, where employer is equal to Microsoft. Select star from Microsoft jobs. Microsoft. What is the problem here? Rank jobs. Am I missing something? Maybe spelling mistake. So now that is done. So here you can see that I am getting rank 1 for user ID 1. For user ID 2, it is rank 2. And user ID 3, it is rank 1. User ID 5 is rank 1 as well. Now what I am looking for? I am looking for the next job. Whatever Microsoft rank is plus 1, right? I want the next job. Which company he joined? The next employer. So now what I will do here is I will say step number 3. Join to find the very next job after Microsoft, right? Next jobs. Select user ID. Employer. That is your next employer. This is the alias from Microsoft jobs. M inner join ranked jobs. RN or next, let's say. This is also coming from R next. And this is coming from M. On user ID is the common column. So M dot user ID is equal to R next dot user ID. And M dot Microsoft rank plus 1 is equal to R next dot job rank. I'll explain this query. Select star from next jobs. What is the problem? M dot Microsoft rank. What column I gave? RNK. Okay. So user ID number 1, the next job he had was, so basically in the above query, this Microsoft guy, right? Let me get this query. Select star from Microsoft jobs. So basically in this query, we got four people. Right? These are the 4 people we had. These are Microsoft jobs, right? So basically this is my user ID and this is the rank of the job. So Microsoft is the first job for user number 1. For user number 2, Microsoft is the second job. For user number 3, Microsoft is the first job. And user number 4 or 5, Microsoft is again first job. So that is my this query. Now what I'm saying is that I'm using this ranked data, ranked jobs, right? Let's go with that. Select star from ranked jobs. So this is my outcome, which I am using for my join with this guy. Right? So this is my user ID. This is company or employer. Start date ended. and this is my rank number. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is that I'm joining my M, that is the Microsoft jobs, with the ranked jobs. I'm joining this guy with this guy. Common column is user ID, on which I am joining. One joins with one. But what condition we are applying? User ID joins with user ID and Microsoft rank, the Microsoft rank plus one is equal to job rank. Microsoft rank is one, one plus one is two, right? That is my Microsoft rank plus one. Now, what you are saying, I want to join on user ID one with user ID one and two with rank two, right? One joins with both, right? One क्या होगा, इसके साथ ये join होगा, इसके साथ ये join होगा. But what is happening is that I want to join on two columns. That is your user and this. तो दोनों का combination कहाँ पर है? This joins with this join with this, not possible. This join with this join with this, possible. That means this guy will not participate. Only this guy will participate, highlighted in red, right? So this guy is coming in and he will get his employer name as well, that is Google. So for user number one, his next company is Google after Microsoft. What is the next? Next guy is 2. And the rank is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Right? Because we are applying here Microsoft rank plus 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So 2, 2, 3. Do we see any 3? We don't see any 3. So both the records will not participate. Right? Because the second company is Microsoft. After that, he is like his current job is Microsoft. Right? So that guy will be not coming in. So this guy will be going off from my final outcome. Now let's go to 3. Now 3, 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. So what is the second job for 3? The second job for 3 is Amazon. So Amazon will be coming in. That is 3 and Amazon. What about 5? 5, 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. And there is no combination of 5 and 2. So this guy will also be not coming in. So outcome will be 1 Google, 1 Amazon. And you can see that 1 Google, 1 Amazon is coming in. Now, once that is done, what is my next task? My next task is that I want to go and I want to find the total number of employees who are actually having the next employer as your next employer as Google. There is only one employee. So select count star from next jobs where next employer is equal to Google. So there is only one employee coming in who is basically joining Google after just Microsoft, right? And that is how we solve this problem statement. Are you guys clear with this, all of you? What we have discussed here? All right. So that is what I wanted to cover. 3 questions I tried to cover. We'll cover some more questions later on. Okay. Play around with this and I'll share these files with you. Any doubts you have, let me know. All right. So we'll see you in the next session. Till then, take care.